Hey, good morning, tubers. Well, I could say that for about 5 more minutes. It's Saturday, December 16th, and that's the time. That's the temp in the garage, and it's supposed to be clear and sunny today outside. Well, looks a little overcast down towards the strip, and there's a few things up in the mountains. But anyway, it's been long overdue. It's been about 3 weeks since I made a video. I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. Haven't done anything too much on the car. Ordered some parts, but got a mail call here. You Dizzy, I won an item from him, and of course the famous picture. And I'm not going to pull it out, but the item I won was that. So that's pretty cool. So we'll stick that up here on top of the fridge. Drop this sticker. See where we put this one. Up here. Yeah. There's. Wonder what happened to Millrick. So anyway, let's bring you up to speed on what's going on around here. First off, I've been ordering parts for the Camaro called Tremec, and there's a pigtail. Come to find out, there's a pigtail for a neutral safety switch on the transmission, also for the switch for the backup lights, and so I wanted to order pigtails from him. And you remember, this purple wire is neutral safety switch, and I was trying to figure out what I was going to do with that rather than just leave it connected like this and hook it to some type of switch. The transmission has an open circuit switch that it's open circuit when it's in the gear, and it's closed circuit when it's out of gear. So pulled out my instructions on the transmission. Hold on, bear with me. And it says electronic connectors, and as you can read, there are 3 electronic connectors on the TKO transmission: one a neutral start switch, backup lights, and speed sensor pickup. We've hooked up the speed sensor pickup, but the pigtail located at the rear of the transmission is an open circuit until the transmission is placed in neutral. This pigtail uses a standard Ford connector. Well, try finding a standard Ford connector. So I couldn't find one. And then the backup light sensor is on the driver's side and the side of the transmission, about the middle of the case. And so I called Tremec, and the guy argued with me, telling me that there was no pigtail on my transmission that for the neutral safety switch. And I begged to differ, and I says, I got instructions from you guys on my transmission. It tells me so, and I crawled underneath there to verify it too. I won't do that now, but yeah. And so needless to say, long story short, couldn't find a standard Ford connector. It's got to be a female one because it's a male one on the side of the transmission. So what I did is I ordered a weather pack 14 gauge, because that's what that wire is, connector, and I'll wire that. I'll cut the Ford off and wire the weather pack in. And I also ordered the connector for the backup lights, so that's coming. So the only thing left on this now is April. We paint April, May, in that time frame, depending upon the weather. We paint over here on the trunk. You can see right here where it's different shades of gray. Right in there, I've got to weld up the holes for the Camaro label that went, or emblem that went right there, and get that done. Reason for the late start today is the fact is that we didn't get home till 3 o'clock last night. We went and saw the new Star Wars movie. It's pretty good. The only thing I'm going to say about it is, at the ending, in my opinion, it looked like they robbed some of the storyline from some of the scenes at the ending of Return of the Jedi. There's a really good comparison that you can sit there and draw between the two. But other than that, it's a damn good movie. I highly recommend everybody seeing it if you're a Star Wars freak, and that'll be that. That's on that. Other thing is back on the car. We only need to do the clock. We need to do finished body work and get this thing up on jack stands and start that. Do the final alignment on some of the panels. This door and that fender has to have alignment, and then finish off with the hood. Then start walking around this car and taking a look at the body work and do finish glazing where necessary and so forth. Maybe a little priming here and there, but that's where we're at on the car. So that's it for the garage. Let's go out back. Hang on. All right. Last time you saw this, the door wasn't hung. It took me 3 tries to get this door hung, and as you can see, I thought I built the frame square for the rough opening for the door, so you see no shims down there. And then as you get up here, you can see shims right there. When I hang a door, old, and then, like I said, it's been 20 plus years since I hung a door. And hang on, let's get this ladder out of the way. But when I hang a door, I usually try to have the hinge side with no shims, and then shim the rest of it to sit there and do it. But it opens. I got to build up the threshold a little bit, and it closes. So that's all that matters, and it reveals pretty well. So today we're going to finish up on that. I had to find some tar paper. Yesterday I went cruising around construction sites with a 6-pack of beer and couldn't find any, and then I found that piece in the dumpster and I pulled it out. Here's the trim for the door and for the sides. I went to Lowe's, and they had this bundle of damaged shingles, and they sold them to me for half price. I'm only going to use probably about 5 or 6 of them, but and then the rest will go in the trash because I have no need to hang on to that or store any of that stuff. So that's what we've got planned for today, is the rest of the roof and drip edge, and then shingle the roof, and then trim out the doors, trim out the side. I'm going to put a piece of trim here going along here to sit there and hide most of this, and then caulk it all, and that's where we're at. So when I get more, I'll turn this back on later. Hey tubers, oh, the radio. I love those speakers. Those are Kenwoods, and I got them when I was in Southeast Asia for $89 a piece. Now I was in Southeast Asia in 1973, and they still look and sound that good. Best $89 a piece I ever spent. Well, anyway, doors trimmed out. Still got to do a few more things. Go up here. See, the roof is done. I didn't know what to do back here, but I doubt very seriously that this is going to get wet in the rain. I'm thinking maybe from about here down. So that's Joanne's pool. 70 here today. So what we got left to do is a piece of trim down here. I got to put a piece of siding up here to go to the roof deck on both sides. Yeah, it's all trimmed out. And then another piece of trim here to go along up here on this side. And that's pretty much it. So this will probably be the last video on the compressor room until I paint it, and then you guys can look at it one more time. But and as far as the door gap, I gotta fix that, and then I'll fill it with one of those screw-on door seals, because I want to put seal all around in here, in there. So yeah. So tomorrow we should knock this up. We should clean up the patio. All the carpenter's tools should go away. I have my caulk right here. And then this is the roof caulk to sit there and seal up those nail heads in case I need to. But yeah, I'm going to load up this with construction debris. Those are shingles I cut up. I did save majority of the bunch shingles. You can see them right there. But yeah. Let's see, how many rows did I have? Not counting the starter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 rows, and all I needed, each end had a little sliver like this. So yeah. So tomorrow we will caulk it. We'll finish up the trim. That's the piece of the siding for up top there. I think I even measured it already. Should be chalked. Yep. So we'll cut that out. And here's the trim for the sides going up against the house. The round will go up against the house. I know it's base, but I just want something. But all in all, I'm ahead of schedule. I was hoping that this would be done by the end of December, and here it is. What, a week away from Christmas, and we're just about finished wrapping it up. I'm not too worried about the weather stripping and everything else on the bottom and inside the door. We'll take care of that. That's always just an add-on with a screw gun and some adhesive. But all in all, I think it came out pretty good. So I want to thank everybody for subscribing, for watching, and leaving comments. Next video, we are definitely back on the car. Later, guys. Have a good weekend.